Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. So in continuation of my thumbnail lessons, I'm going to be taking grayscale marker. So this is a 20% cool gray from Prismacolor. And today's theme is aquatic creatures. So over the past, I would say 5 or 6 videos about thumbnails, I've been focusing a lot on arachnids, crustaceans, and pretty much any creature that looks like a spider or some kind of not so friendly insect. But I thought today would be neat if we concentrate on the aquatic life, something that I haven't really tackled, but offers some really neat silhouettes and creatures themselves. I think in movies, a lot of times aquatic creatures don't really get a good rap. It's mainly because they're not as popular, but I think, if we spend time and really study them, there's some pretty outrageous and gnarly alien stuff that already live on planet Earth. Things that we normally don't even think about on a day-to-day basis. Why would we though, right? We got more things to worry about up here on the surface than what's swimming around in the Mariana Trench. And I would love to go there one day, but that's not going to happen. So I'm just going to draw stuff that maybe could be there. All right. So we have a fish-like shape, and if you were following along with me, you can definitely do this too. So if you think you suck at drawing and it's immediately going to look bad, I want you to erase that mindset, and then I want you to come to the conclusion that it's okay to fail, and that by failing, and not even failing, just putting lines together to see what happens, that's going to mostly unlock all that creative freedom that you have built up in there. And with this particular critter, I knew it was going to be aquatic. I knew there were going to be fins, but other than that, pretty much I'm just following the silhouette of what happened with my marker. I did know in the beginning that I wanted it to be a regular fish shape, like a guppy, goldfish, shark, koi fish, whatever. And then just start putting some extra fins on here just to see where it goes. But the technique that I'm doing is I have the grayscale marker underneath. It kind of gives the outline for it. And then I have a Bic ballpoint pen, black, and I'm just going to go over the shape and make up my own anatomy. Now this technique is a lot of fun because when you start splashing down the gray that would make up the body, all of the little details that fall in between, it's pretty much up to you. Now, if you study a lot about fish anatomy and marine life in general, you know that the possibilities are endless. We have squid, we have shark, like sea urchins, stingray, all kinds of stuff that's going on down there. And if you just start piling these together and seeing what works and what doesn't work, you can come up with some really cool stuff. So here I'm just splashing on some ink. And maybe there are some areas in the body here where I'm pretty satisfied with the shape, so I'll darken it up a little bit, like this in here. This is probably the head, I would assume. So if I wanted to get a good eyeball in here, fish eye is pretty easy. All you got to do is just color in black, leave a little bit in the center for a reflection, and you're pretty much good. So we're not going to go alien with this per se, like multiple eyes, tentacles, those kinds of things. I want to keep this as grounded to reality as possible and more familiar than what I normally draw. But what I'm doing here is hatching in some shadows that could exist on the bottom of the body and then darkening up some edge work. So we put in some details, and it looks like the fins do have some little grooves here, little spikes. All right, and outline some of the body so that we can get a better picture of what the silhouette is actually doing. There you go. And maybe this creature has like a little horn in the front. I think that'd be kind of neat. But we do need to darken more on the bottom because we want that to show the shadow of where it would exist. Same thing with the bottom of the chin here. All right, and what that does is it helps ground the animal. Ground the animal as in making it look like it's occupying 3D space on a 2D background or a 2D plane. Because that's one of the hardest things to do. That's why That's why so many artists just obsess about shading, because, you know, it brings in the ultimate 3D look. It looks realistic. It's like it's occupying real space. So ultimately, that's what you want. There we go. Okay. Now for this one, I could add some color. Why don't we do that? I'm going to go... I'll put in some blue here. Oh wait, no, not that end, because that will bleed. Maybe something on the fin and some stripes going down the fin. That would be kind of cool. And the same thing with this fin on the side. Alright, so we want some repetition with that design, because it's actually a cool looking palette right now, just gray and this blue. So maybe that's where the blue exists here, and then on the back here in the tail, maybe it's more pronounced. Alright, and then just kind of fade it off. So it's got a blue tail. Alright, that's our first thumbnail. If you are enjoying this, you know, comment below, tell us what you're working on. And also, if you have a name for this critter, please do. What if it was like an anglerfish? What if it did this? Did that. We'll just put that in there for fun. Now it's complete. Now I feel better. Okay, let's move on. If you have markers, that would be awesome, because you can get a silhouette in there without marker, just if you have some random shading and you cover an area. But I think this would be much easier because it's a fatter tip and it covers an area really quickly. So this little critter, I don't know, it kind of looks like a seahorse. I don't know if that's the head. Maybe it is the head. By the way, my radiators are going, so you probably hear this weird hissing sound in the back. I had to turn some of them off. So this is a very small animal. However, one thing that would be cool is if this one actually did have some tentacles. So it looks like, almost like crayfish, some kind of crawdad. There we go. But I don't know about that head. I think I'm just going to keep it there. Let's see what happens when we add ink to it. Okay, there we go. I'm keeping my hands very loose. I'm not gripping the pen hard at all. But I am pretty happy with the overall silhouette. I'm throwing that term out just because if you're not familiar with what these terms are, the silhouette is the shape that you see as a whole. You know, if everything is filled in with one color, you could do it with black marker or whatever. The silhouette is showing the outline of it. And if you have a good outline for it, then it's most likely going to get much more attention, just because it's eye-catching, and a good silhouette for a character in general is great for a game. There we go. Okay, and then the other thing is about silhouettes is if your creature or character has a good silhouette, then when people play it in a video game, they're immediately going to see that it's recognizable. And that's when you know you're successful, because you don't want your designs to be just like there, an NPC, if you will. You can really hear that hissing now in the background. You know, what if we put like a little row, not really spikes, but kind of like a bony protrusion where the spine is? Because it looks like the head. Because like with the head, I'm thinking about doing something pretty gnarly. What if we just have this really big hook-like shape? And since this is a mysterious aquatic animal, maybe it exists on a planet with nothing but oceans. Kind of like Miller's planet in Interstellar. But there's some pretty wild stuff here on Earth too. Like those microorganisms and even the bigger animals that live in the volcanic vents underwater where the air temperature is 1200 degrees, or not air temperature, water temperature. Pretty crazy that they can survive there. They just swim right through it. Tardigrades even. Like tardigrades can live in space and you can freeze them, you can burn them, which is why I don't think they're from here. Okay. Wow, that escalated quickly. That went from a weird little seahorse thing to Something I do not want to ever pet. These could be the eyes, so let's darken that up. Or yeah. Oh, that's so gross. Why is it that gross, scary things tend to impress more than cute, fuzzy things and easily recognizable evil things? I don't know what it is. If something is gross, we have to watch it. Maybe that's why The Thing was so successful. There we go. Okay. We'll give it a little shadow. Even though the body's really not as big as this one, I don't know, it still packs a little bit of a punch here. But we have to make sure that each body part is looked after so that, you know, nothing looks like it was left behind. That's the other thing. If you're sketching a creature right now and it has a lot of tentacles or some form of body parts hanging off of it, and there's a lot, please be careful about how you go about designing that, because it could be random. It could be the whiskers of a cat, you know, because they just jut out everywhere from the face. However, they all have a purpose. So if you're sketching a creature and it's got just like a bunch of spikes or a tuft of hair on the head, why is that there? You know, does it have a tuft of hair on the other parts of the head? If it has spikes, are the spikes common? Like, can you see them in multiple parts of the body? That's what you need to be careful of. Okay, so I think this one will need some color, and I'm going to use that hot orange, so I know that one will look kind of cool. So I think the hot orange will look good right about there. And then those are the eyes, so I don't want that. But it could be a defense mechanism, so maybe the eyes are in the front here, and then this orangish patch on the head acts like a gigantic eye to scare them off. That would be kind of cool, actually. And then we'll just put some of these colors down here to kind of help with that continuity. Okay. Oh, if you're wondering what I got on top of the page there, just more like crustacean critters and stuff. This is blue ballpoint pen. So I'm just filling up the rest of that page. Let's move on to our next one. This is so much fun. Okay. I don't want to do a shape that I've done here, but I also don't want to do a jellyfish-like shape just because, you know, I've done a lot of tentacled stuff. So what if this one doesn't have a tentacle? What if we do something long and skinny, kind of like an electric eel, but in this case there are certain parts on the body where it gets thicker, maybe because it looks like a bloodworm actually, but there are parts on there where it looks like some body parts are coming up like as a fin. Okay, look at all those little fins, and then maybe the tail. Thing is, when you're designing these things, try to think about the function even though it's at the raw stage. You don't have to have everything perfect. So like this right now, I don't even know if, yep, those are teeth. So I guess it's like a bloodworm. A swimming bloodworm. That's even more terrifying. And then these are the little fins that help the body move along. Ooh, that's kind of cool actually. Think about how quick this thing might be. Let's see what that looks like from here. Yeah. And then what you could do is you can put in some really cool razorback like fin shapes. There we go. Like a crazy eel. I don't know, name this one below. Here's one, here's two. This is going to be three. So if you want to name three, what can we name three? Better yet, what is it for all you aspiring creature artists out there? What is this thing? And what is its specialty? That's my call to action to all of you today. What is this creature and what is its specialty? If you can come up with a neat one, I'll give you a shout out in the next video. By the way, shout out to all my channel members too. I just added a new tier on my channel. This tier is going to be starting next week where certain channel members can get access to my videos before they're made public. So you get to watch it before everybody. It'd be kind of fun. Okay. This one, this creature, man. I'm going to have to draw those fins on the other side too. You got to be careful when you shade with pen because you can fill in the gaps, yes, but if you go too quickly and try to, or not too quickly, but too slowly and try to fill everything in, you're going to end up shading with a pen. And if you want that loose feeling that you get with ballpoint pen, it's going to go away because then you just start putting in a lot more details. So you got to be 100% sure that it's what you want. There we go. Okay. It's pretty cool. Let's see what we could do with color on this one. Let's make it this green color. There we go. I can probably fade in some red with that green, or maybe orange with that green. That would be kind of cool. All right, so if you were a complete beginner and you don't really know where to start or how to start when it comes to sketching thumbnails and knowing what looks good and what doesn't look good, I just want you to embrace the fact that if you just take a marker, take a pen or pencil, and start laying down shapes, you'd be surprised at what your brain can come up with. Now, people are creative in different ways. So let's say you do start drawing, but your penmanship doesn't look good. You know, the details look bad, your line work looks bad, you say you can barely draw a stick figure, etc. That's okay, because maybe art will come through in another way for you. Okay, maybe you have really good ideas, and then somebody else is supposed to draw that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Another possibility is that if you're drawing and nothing good comes out, then maybe it's not your art. Maybe it's you being scared that you don't have good art. And I think that's a big killer right there, especially for folks that, you know, are constantly saying, oh my gosh, I'm not good, I'll never get there, I'll never get there. Yeah, you're right. You're not going to get there because you keep telling yourself that you're not going to get there. And I know it's a little harsh to hear that, but it's true. There's a quote that I've heard, I think it was from Henry Ford. It said, whether you say you can't or you can, you're right. And even though it's kind of in your face, and you know, many people can make arguments against that, a lot of it does reign true though. So, you know, if you have project anxiety or performance anxiety when you're sketching, just know that if you constantly tell yourself that you're going to fail at it, then you're going to fail at it. You know, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And here I am just yapping away when I draw this Dunkley Osteus looking thing, and I didn't even mean to. I did not mean for this head to look like a Dunkley Osteus. So we're going to have to change this. I don't know how. Actually, I do. I'm just going to give it a very big bottom jaw, just for fun. Let's color that back in gray. Make sure I don't hit too much of the ink. And then maybe this creature has a hardened beak. I think that'd be kind of neat. The hook at this chin right here, this very, very powerful looking hook, maybe that is a way for the creature to catch certain prey. You know, like maybe this fish is super fast and it needs a strong body and a strong jaw to hold on to what it captures. Okay. Now here I'm trying my best to fill in what I think could be a cool looking tail, because I didn't give a lot of information on the side of this body other than there were some big lumps, and we'll see what happens. So maybe I'll just move it over here a little bit. Whenever you draw aquatic life, it's probably best to take the eyelids out of the equation and just have the eyeballs be fish-like. Just because you think about being underwater, and a lot of fish don't blink. Like the majority of stuff that swims doesn't blink. You know, really, unless you're a mammal and you leave the water and you go on the ground and, you know, you got to blink because of air. But other than that, a lot of the fish just don't blink. It also makes it stronger. like creepy factor and mood wise. If you just have these jet black eyes, similar to squid, similar to great white shark. There we go. Well, if we put some sharp teeth in there, ooh, very deadly. All these little markings that I'm putting here are just helping my cause. You know, it's part of the skin texture that could exist. So it's up to you to, or me, to bring that out. So I think there is going to be shadow right under this part of the jaw. Like so. And then layering up these lines, you can start to see a huge difference in texturing without actually freaking out about texture. What if we did this? We are about to get pretty gnarly with our creature. Now it's going to stop at the beginning of the head, or the end of the head, because I want the body parts to be separate. There is continuity there, so there may be some more bumps, maybe a back fin. But I think this thing is all face, and it's really creepy. But of course, once it turns in front view, it probably looks completely different. There we go. So hopefully you're scribbling along with me. Make sure you date, and you say to yourself, or you date your, page. You say to yourself, I'm going to use this for a project in the future. We are slowly building up our library of reference images, and we didn't even know it. And the reference images being your own drawings. There we go. Okay, so let's darken the bottom here. See how quickly I'm moving? I'm not really focusing on anything else. Thick to thin lines, making sure I have little controlled bursts going everywhere. And then the body looks believable enough in that it's, it's got a tail, it's got dorsal fin, anal fin, and it's got the big one in the front. So I want those to look separate. So maybe it comes out right here. So it looks like a gill that it comes out of, but it's not. So let's put in some shadow here. I love putting in shadow with pen. It just looks cool. It just looks cool. Put a little hunchback on that thing too. And then whenever you would be ready, you could just refine this however you seem fit. And you always have this one as a, like a backup. Okay, there we go. Nice. So if you like today's lesson, comment below, let me know. And if you would like to be mentored by me, I've been teaching for a better part of 13 years now. Please email me at bobbyrebholz@gmail.com or check the pinned comment below. And I also have links in the description and pinned comment for our Creature Design Workshop Discord. This is where we run the mentorship through. The Discord itself is free to join, but I do have a fee for my mentorship. So if you're interested, email me or just join the Discord and DM me on there too. Pretty open to communication. Also, I will be teaching creature design for film and games at Computer Graphics Master Academy for the 8th year now, and winter term is coming full steam. People are signing up, and classes begin January 23rd. So check the link in the description for my course, quote unquote my course, and then also in the pinned comment. And it's a real curriculum, 8 weeks worth, and you get a lot out of it too. All right, so I hope today's lesson was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun drawing these. And if you have any questions, you can email me or comment below. Hey, like and subscribe too, if you enjoyed yourself. I'll catch you all later. Peace.